Hey guys, David here from Nintendo 3DSblog.com. I'm just testing out a different office space at the moment, hence the different background and all of that. But anyways, one of the main questions I've been getting about the 3DS is for me to talk about the messaging system in the operating system. But there's a slight problem because there isn't a messaging system. PictoChat was completely removed and that was confirmed a while ago, and there's just nothing in the operating system that allows you to send messages back and forth. At the very most, you can set your own status message that people on your friends list can see, but that's just like a very basic form of Facebook statuses. So yeah, that's pretty unfortunate, but don't worry, Nintendo has very strongly hinted that a messaging system would be coming in the future, and I'm sort of hoping that it arrives in late May with the eShop and the web browser and all that, although we may have to wait a bit longer. In terms of 3DS news though, the biggest story is that Iwata, in the latest edition of Iwata Asks, has said that they're going to be cramming lots of new and interesting things into Ocarina of Time 3D. So these are things that were not in the Nintendo 64 version, and things we've probably never seen. We already know that the Master Quest, which is the more difficult version of Ocarina of Time, will be bundled in with the 3D version. But Iwata did say that they have more announcements coming closer to the release date of the game, which is in June, so I still think Nintendo has some things up their sleeves. We've also got confirmation that Resident Evil The Mercenaries won't be a launch window title, and it won't actually be arriving until between July and September. And that's a pretty big shame. The game does sound like it's turning out pretty well. Definitely check out the preview that I've linked in the description below. And I spent some more time playing around with the 3D camera in the 3DS. And one cool thing is that when you're playing around with the augmented reality applications, you don't actually need to print out the augmented reality cards. Your 3DS can easily recognise them just by looking at the computer screen, and that allows for a very cool effect where you can have Nintendo characters jumping out of your screen. So I took a bunch of those photos and made them available on the blog, along with the MPO files, which is the 3D file format, so you can look at them yourself in 3D if you have the right application on your computer. And while the photos don't look great in 2D because they're grainy and the colours aren't perfect and all that kind of stuff, I can assure you, in 3D they're very impressive. I think the 3D camera is going to be one of those features that quickly becomes a lot of people's favourite. And over the past week or so, people have been caught up with Pokemon Black and White, seeing as it just came out outside of Japan, and it sounds like now's the time to get excited for the next generation. When asked about making a Pokemon game on the 3DS, Game Freak said that they want to do something that's beyond people's expectations. Obviously that's a pretty vague quote, it doesn't really mean anything, but it's still exciting to imagine what could be done with Pokemon on the 3DS. And the biggest real world news of this week was the fact that Japan was hit by a massive earthquake along with a tsunami along the east coast. And while this is not really the time to be worrying about video games and all that kind of stuff, Nintendo did issue a statement saying that their headquarters weren't affected, no employees were hurt as far as they're aware, and business will continue as usual. And for the few people wondering if I was still over there, no, I came back to Australia a couple of weeks ago, so I definitely avoided the disaster. But if you want to help the victims of the earthquake, definitely check out the link in the description below. There's plenty of ways to donate and help out and that kind of thing, and that'd be pretty awesome. But my camera's battery is dying, so I guess that's it for now. I'll talk to you later.